Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, November 28th, 2022, and welcome to the Java Cafe. Today is Mental Health Mondays, and Dr. Brandy is on vacation, and so you guys are stuck with me. Actually, this week, we're going to take it back to sort of our original format. In the beginning, getting ready to hit 3 years. It's been 2.5 years, and coming this March, it'll be 3 years. So you're stuck with me today, but I want to discuss a few things. One is don't forget to go into the comments and drop one word that describes how you're feeling today, as it is Mental Health Mondays, and we do this every week. The other thing is we're going to talk about a little bit about It Starts at Home. I unfortunately became aware, got up this morning and looking on social media and seeing last night that a 12-year-old was killed in Atlanta. I'm going to read a little bit of the story shortly in a few minutes. And then we're going to talk about peace or family or both. And as we're in the holiday season, and some of you were with family this weekend, and we've talked about this before, how dealing with family members and protecting your peace is possible. And so we're going to have some conversation about that. And I'm going to depend on you in the comments to give feedback. So let's go into the Java Cafe and see who's in this morning. And don't forget to drop that one word in the comments to let us know how you're doing this morning. Nicole, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Opal, good morning. Thank you for sharing as always. Good to see you. Pastor Marion, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Charlotte, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room as always. Rena Francis, aha, intentional self-care moment. Good morning to you. Dr. Dow Drumright, good to see you in the room this morning. Let's just get our music cued back up here. Rena Francis, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Pastor Marion said she is grateful this morning. Tashad is saying good morning as well. Good to see you in the room. Sister Debbie, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Rob, my brother, you are in the room. Good to see you as always, man. Props is in the room. Stop, bro. 12-year-olds listen, not today, brother. Teresa, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Naraki, good to see you in the room. Rochelle, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. And Rena is letting us know that she is feeling productive this morning. Matt Gibson, my brother, is in the room. Good to see you in the room this morning. Teresa is saying that she is blessed and tired. Partied out. Oh, okay, Mr. Oh, yeah, with the Double E's birthday that was on Friday. Shout out to Double E's, Ella and Ethan, whose birthday was on Friday. Sharon Cornelius is in the room all the way from North Carolina. Good to see you in the room. Ma, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Rob says you have to choose peace every time. Sister Debbie is saying her word is confident. And so a couple of things there. Wanted to also go back to what I mentioned a few moments ago, is that, and I'll read this. This is from ATL Scoop. I saw it this morning. And just to mention it, in the thing of, when it comes to violence, we've talked about this before. When it comes to manners, when it comes to up here, there's also the piece of there were some young people up here that, like 11 and 12-year-olds that were assaulting senior citizens. And so this notion for the past few years has come up a lot about it starts at home. Manners, regard for life and things like that. And so this is what it reads on Instagram from the account ATL Scoop. A 12-year-old is dead and 5 other teenagers are in the hospital recovering from gunshot wounds after a dispute near Atlantic Station around 8 p.m. Saturday night. The shooting took place shortly after off-duty Atlanta APD, Atlanta Police Department officers and Atlantic Station personnel escorted a group of juveniles off Atlantic Station property. The group had been removed from Atlantic Station for unruly behavior and curfew violations. The group moved to 17th Street, where a dispute broke out and escalated to gunfire. One witness says he heard over 30 gunshots. Chief Darren, I'm not even going to try his last name, Screebum, says that the handguns were recovered from teens at the scene. Check back for updates. And so any life loss is definitely an issue, even if people are caught up into the life or the game, however you want to classify it. But it is a different sting on community, on us, on their peers when it is a child. We know here in Boston, recently there have been 14-year-olds that have been killed. Props referred to the fact here, and it 12-year-olds killed every day. And it brings up the notion of what are we doing as a community? What are we doing as a village? And what is this notion of it starts at home? What is it? Chime in on the comments and let me know when people say it starts at home. What do you think it is? Put in the comments what you think it is that starts at home. Then there's the village, the aunties, the uncles, the godparents, school personnel that are additionally that safety net, because we know that home for a lot is very interesting. And so let's go back up, catch up with the comments and see, based on what I read from that story. Okay, here we go. Nicole is letting us know she's feeling positive. So we're going to be in and out the words and some of the comments. Nicole is letting us know she's feeling positive. I have an upcoming performance appraisal at work coming up today. So let's send Nicole positive vibes that she gets that raise, more than that 2% COL, cost of living, that they used to give us. Ma said that she is feeling love. Mama Java, we love you, mother. Rob says, good mother, God morning, Teresa. What, Rob? Do that again. Sharon Cornelius, she is saying hi to Misha. Conchetta Johnson is saying, God bless. Good morning to all Java fam. Tara, good morning to you. Good morning, Java family. She is feeling refreshed this morning, coming off of vacation. Also, Rob is saying that was good morning. All right, I'm trying to preview some of these here and get to the comments. Here we go. It is love. Okay, Quincy is chiming in when I asked, what is it that when it starts at home? Quincy said it is love, but go a little bit deeper, Quincy. How is that love demonstrated? And then how does love have an impact on issues that we're talking about? Violence, manners, respect, giving a woman a seat, stuff like that. Auntie Paula is in the room. Good morning. Good to see you in the room. Misha made it home. Good morning to you. Pastor Marion is saying teaching, encouragement, discipline, and accountability. So that is what Pastor Marion is saying. Auntie Java is saying that it is respect of life and respect of property. Okay, that's a good one. Miss Teresa is sending positive vibes toward Nicole for her job review today. Pastor Marion is going back to it being love. Tara is letting us know everything that happens in our community starts in the home, but every home is not a healthy and stable environment. And so that's the balance that we've been trying to give here. That's the balance that we're trying to give here, that home is not always conducive. We know that poverty, we know that substance use, we know that the economy, we know that parents that aren't dealing with those issues, some are working 3 jobs, single family homes, predominantly in Black communities led by Black women only who are raising kings. And that brings up a whole nother issue there. Conjetta, Auntie Java, rather, her word for the day is feeling optimistic. And Tamisha is saying, good morning to everybody. Props, I saw your text. And so, in reference to, we're talking about it starting at home, in reference to the story I read, Props is sharing with us that this 12-year-old that was killed is unfortunately what some would say known to police. He is mentioning that there is a past history of violence. And so, as I said in the beginning, and as I've always said, even when people that are in the life that have participated, that have perpetuated some of the violence, even in their demise, they're still a human and people still love them. And so it just it brings up a whole nother issue. Why we're talking about it starting at home right now is a 12-year-old with reported per props 3 previous issues. Like that what is going on? How are our young people able to go in and out the home, either with guns, and parents not sensing something is up? They're let's go back and see what more have to say about this. Paula Kelly is saying, I disagree. It always starts at home. Too many situations where parent or parents and support systems try their best, but something out of the blue happens. Different perspective. We see that a perfect example. Well, no, I was going to say Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but that I'd have to do too much explaining there. Quincy is saying love for self and others, teaching your kids that all have value. That's it right there. Miss Teresa is saying self-love and self-respect. That gets started at home. Sharing is letting us know that her word for the day is rested. Quincy is also chiming in again. It's more, but the one word would be love. And that goes to what we've said on this platform often. Love is the foundational thing. Sometimes you have to practice tough love, and sometimes you have to love from a distance. So we're going to go and speaking of practicing tough love, in a few minutes we're going to talk about loving on our families and sometimes the family members being the one that cause issues with our mental health. We're going to move into that in just a few moments. Rena Francis is saying at home it's character building. Props is letting us know if my home is broken, I'm looking like I ain't caca poo. And if I ain't, then you ain't no better than me. ATL has a vast contrast of haves versus the have nots. And he brings up, excuse me, Props brings up a very valid point of value systems. Self-worth starts in the home. When the baby falls, oh, get up. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, get up, baby. You can do it. Those things have impact on our children as they grow up and develop. So Props, that's a good point there. Rob is saying sometimes there's a father who is present, but he causes more damage than an absent father because he wasn't properly raised by his own father. I've heard people say when I was growing up and I would be upset and express to people, you know, I miss not having my father. We've heard this. I've heard this in church before, you know, in reference to a father not being in the home or a parent. You know, maybe it worked out better because if the father was around, who knows what you would have been exposed to. We also know that unfortunately there have been situations where 45-year-old men are out putting battery packs in their sons' back and giving them guns to go shoot. And so Rob raises another valid point here. We're just having a discussion today about it and it starting at home. Auntie Java is saying no matter anyone's background, they are still someone's child that deserves a caring word, love, and prayers. And so to that piece, and not asserting anything that Props was saying, but a 12-year-old child with 3 previous incidents, even if it was a 30-year-old man, that is somebody's son and somebody cares, you know, and even if they don't know that they are cared for, somebody does. And it gets back into this thing of home and the village. Props is also saying the gun they have they have not run to our neighborhood looking at us like we're the bank. You've been to the neighborhood. It feels like Copley. The rest of the A feels like Roxbury Boys and Girls, Roxbury, Roxbury's Blue Hill. Props, retype that beginning so I can get your point out there. Tara is saying parenting is not easy for everyone, and we blame parents for the children. But what if they don't have the resources they need, didn't have love growing up? Parenting is traditional. And it that is the point that the reason we're having this discussion today, because there is the belief, and I do believe it does it. And we've heard you all describe today it being respect, it being love, it being respect for property, it being value taught, self-worth, as Props pointed to. And so and my brother Jules is in the room. Juice is in the room. Top of the morning, brother. Good to see you. I want to hear your thoughts on this, sir, about it starting at home when it comes to issues of violence. Heidi is saying, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Props is saying, we can tell you went to Boston Public. I'm not going to go back to that sentence up there. Auntie Java is saying, we have 3 generations that have been left to figure it out on their own without the guidance of parents or grandparents. So now they are left to follow what they see and hear in media and their hood, shaking my head, but praying. And so, Auntie, I would just push back on one thing there. A lot of cases, it's the grandparents that wound up raising the children. The parents were dealing with issues from crack to other things. And again, we want to put the other side. Some parents are working between 2 parents and 1 parent, 3 and 4, 5 jobs. And so the grandparents were raising and watching the children. And a lot of these grandparents don't have the wherewithal to raise these children in a society that's dealing with the internet. And as Auntie Java referred to, coming up where they are consuming so much media, and media, that's a whole another Zoom in itself. Charlotte is saying parenting is generational. To kind of Tara's point, if there was trauma in the parent's life, it gets passed down to the children. And we've discussed that before. Rob is saying to Ma that was me acknowledging some of my toxicity. But Rob, the fact that, man, listen, that's a whole nother I'm so proud of you. Sister Leslie is saying, was hard being a single parent raising 5 kids. And that is absolutely real. Tried my best to keep my kids busy. And so there are, and whenever this topic comes up, please be clear. I can't speak for others, but I'm raising this as a topic of conversation to our village for us to really encourage parents to pay attention, the parents of those that are out here participating in these actions. And if, God forbid, there is law enforcement involved and it is at that child's demise, we're going to have a lot of issues. But then there needs to be some self-examination of the parents as well, with everything that Paula has raised and Tara has raised about our homes not being as conducive for various reasons. All right, folks, this is, so what I've gathered from the topic, it starts at home, from the comments today, is that it is being loved. Heidi is saying, I can't hear or see today. I don't know why. What's going on, Heidi? Are y'all good? Most of the folks are saying that they're good. Hopefully, just refresh or close your browser and tap in again. Charmaine. So you being here, I'm going to reach out to you after, because I want to, if you're up to it, I want to bring you on and have a conversation with you. Charmaine, if you don't mind me sharing, is the mother, and I'm going to try to keep myself together, is the mother of Jasmine Burrell, otherwise known as Snow, who I have asked you all to pray for on this platform for the past few weeks. We buried Jasmine just a few weeks ago, and she is the parent, and I'm getting ready to read her comment, and she can speak well to this. We have to be at a place where we're not afraid to correct our children, good or bad. My generation has become our children's friends. Family values are important. We give them the tools that have been given to us to get right. Charmaine, thank you for being in the room. And I am going to reach out to you and have a conversation to see if you're willing to come and just chat from a parent's perspective. Charlotte is referencing to rather, these are the social determinants of health: living situation, access to healthy food. I'm really realizing that how much food plays a role in our attitude and our overall health, of which mental wellness is health, a part of our health. And so that part right there, Charlotte, Miss Teresa is saying it also goes back to the village. If a child's home life is poor, sometimes the outsider showing them love and positive attention may make the difference. Teresa is spreading some love and sharing love with Charmaine. You all do that as well. Naraki is in the building, who supported this sister. Just, yeah, I'm going to try to stay focused. Charmaine, you messed me up this morning. I'm going to try to stay focused, but please really show some support to Sister Charmaine. And hopefully when she's ready to come in and chat with us about this perspective, and also just her strength. My thought this morning was in Testimony Tuesday, I'm watching this woman exude strength. Being real about Charmaine, of at any point you need to just holler, scream, every right to. Pastor Marion is sharing with us, at one time we acted like a village where we as children were accountable to others than just their parents. Our neighbors watched out for us and our neighbors watched out for us and told them when we were doing bad things. The village does make a part. Tashard is agreeing that it really does, I would presume, start at home. The situation is not good. A child may think it's cute to attack people. Absolutely, Ma. And that is the culture of media and music plays a whole big role in this. Even when home is embedding in children what they can, if one of the things that we don't teach our children is how to consume media, there's large potential that media is going. So to Tara and Paula's point, parents, I know that single parents and other parents have done their best, and children deviate for various reasons. And so we got to keep that balance. This is not finger pointing. This is having a discussion to bring attention to the fact that we need to, as a community and village, we need to start paying more attention to what our young people are doing. Charmaine is saying we are the village to save our own children. Auntie Java is sending love to Charmaine as well. Ma is sending love to Charmaine. Heidi is saying, Tara Register Curry, I had both my parents in the home. We received good, stable, and sound counsel, yet my brother was an addict and spent time in jail. He had the tools to make good choices, but didn't. Sometimes it's the environment, as I just said without reading this comment, sometimes it's the environment out of the home as well. And that is absolutely real. Sharon is saying the music and media have an impact. I was on social media yesterday, and I was watching a video of some young women. How can I frame it? They were exhibiting. Hold on. That my throat getting dry and get ready to cough was a sign. They were exhibiting what the Lord had blessed them with, and there was a song playing, and I don't remember all the exact words, but what I remember was listening to the song, the way this dude was talking about handling the women. I'm just like, bruh. And again, not censorship, but we have to be wise to what's going on with our children. And for the most part, the values, the regard for life, the regard for property, the respect, manners, we don't even hear that word that much. Home training. It does start at home, with the understanding that many of our homes are facing challenges to which they did not even by their choices put themselves in, systems and structures. And so while there are, and Jules, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. It starts at home and also the environment you were brought up in. I didn't have a father and I looked to the street for my love. My mother was, yes, she was, Miss Rosie. My mother was a loving mother, but I didn't have that father figure in my life. I still strayed off. A lot of these young, a lot of these young people and just don't love themselves, to Prop's point, and we need to show them love and let them know that they mean something in this world. To this point here, Heidi, I don't know why you can't hear the convo today. I don't know what's going on your end, but hopefully it gets fixed, or shut the device off and turn it back on again. That's my answer to just about everything technological. Um, yes, you see what they experience. You have morals, they don't. And so it hold on. One more from Miss Teresa. I was taught that TV was just that TV. My mom would say you better leave that behavior in the TV. It doesn't belong here. And so there's just so much. Charmaine is also saying, as a social worker major, one thing, as a social work major, one thing stood out that someone said, the person in the environment, and that environment can be so many different. The person, I'm sorry, let me go back. As a social worker major, one thing stood out that someone said, the person in the environment, and that environment can be so many different things. And so environment does play a role. Let's name that there are parents that have worked I know Armin's mom worked very, very hard, Alexis, to get him in the services and programs, sat and in offices and whatnot, and still. And so we have to, again, not judgment on parents, not judgment on these young people, but we have to start paying attention as parents when they are living in our homes. Y'all are paying those cell phone bills, most of them. You're paying the rent. Parents have to, as Charmaine said earlier, be willing to parent. Another thing about starting at home, we've talked about this before we get ready to wrap up, is also in dealing with family. Thanksgiving was this past weekend. And also we want to acknowledge, every time I mention this on the air, we also want to acknowledge, I've seen two different descriptions of this: Native American Heritage Day, and also Native American Appreciation Day, a Native American History Appreciation Day. But a lot of us are with family. Some of us are with family. And we've talked about this before, that sometimes in the past, family has in this age of us being more public about protecting our peace and our space and mental health, sometimes some folks I know have made the decision not to engage with family that much. And so I wanted to pose a question and ask, is it possible to protect your space, love family, and protect your peace? Is it possible? I want to hear your comments. While we are waiting for you to come in and give some commentary there, and y'all are really going in about this subject about it starts at home. Tara is saying we all play a part in being the village, in home and out of home. I want to do more and make time for our young people and support parents. Tara, I'll say something that you hear, and this may be for you personally or just in general, but the elders in the village and those leaders in the village, often it's a small cadre and a few. And Tara, to your point, while the Bible says we should be all things to all people, everyone can't do everything. And so, especially as a newlywed, ma'am, Miss Curry, don't take on too much, and protect yourself, and remember self-care for you as well. And so, and Auntie Java has a good word here for us to transition over to talking about family and protecting our peace. Yes, set boundaries. Ashika's Yes, Auntie Java. I will ask Auntie. I will ask my cousin Conchetta, Lord Jesus. Um, Mother is saying, I'll say this again. We can teach our children, but they get around their peers and get pressured by them. And that is absolutely true. And so, to Auntie Java's point about setting boundaries, how do you love, protect your peace, and still be around family that may not be too conducive to your mental wellness? Is that a good way to frame it? While we're thinking about that, I wanted to remind everyone, and um, we had our first set of auditions on Saturday, and they went very well. We had some folks come out and audition for the Voices of Embrace open auditions. The next audition is tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. And there were a couple of folks that weren't perfectly clear. It is imperative that if you plan on coming, you have to go to this link here in the bottom and register. On the day of the event, we have to give names, not on the day of, but this is going to be a nationally televised event, and we have to give names for those that receive favorable, are invited to be a part of the choir. Um, it's interesting auditioning. But those that have invited to be a part of the choir, we have to submit those names. And I'm pulling all of that from the registration form. I'm getting details to you via the registration form. So please, if you're sending anybody or recommending for anybody to come to the auditions, please make sure they go to this link to register so we can get them information. All right. Let's go back into the comments and continue this conversation about protecting our peace and dealing with family. Thanksgiving just happened. There's the work family. Let's factor that in. There are people at work that, sometimes you don't want to be around or be a part of that work team. And so how do we do both? All right. I see Sharon Cornelia saying, James, I don't know what I did. Tara said, yes, Conchetta, I make sure to stay in my boundaries. Kristen Halper is in the room, who is not a stranger to the Java Cafe. Good to see you in here this morning, sister. Auntie is the best boundary because eventually we go home. You know what? I'm not messing with you, Kristen. Misha is saying, I have so many boundaries in place now. I have zero room for anyone's nonsense. Auntie Java is saying, choose your engagements and how long do you plan to be in their presence? That's a good mechanism. Sharon Cornelius is getting me for something, maybe the auditions. I don't know. Heidi is agreeing with Mother. Juice is saying, can I still call you Juice? I was saying Jules, but Juice just came out. Julian Miller, a lot of us grown-ups just don't have a purpose in our life and don't know where to begin with the change in our community with these kids. If we don't know what we want in our life, how can we help someone else's kids? Reality, brother. That is real. Teresa is saying, yes, you can, in reference to can you have boundaries, protect your peace, and still be around family? That was the question posed. She said, yes, you can make your boundaries known respectfully. Believe you me, family knows which members to play with. Oh, Jesus. Family knows which members to play with. Heidi is agreeing with Kristen there. And yes, Sharon was getting me for the audition. And so the consensus is, because we're going to get ready to wrap up, the consensus is that you can have boundaries. You can be around family, or you can be around family, but you just have to set boundaries respectfully and let them know. All right. Charlotte is saying, my word for today is grind. Went from Schenectady to home, homework, community work, all in 1 week. I saw an email from you too, Charlotte. I'll try to get that connection done today. Charlotte is saying, my word for today is grind. Went from Schenectady to home, homework, community work, all in 1 weekend. Pray for my daughter while she studies for the next 9 days in Panama. All right, Miss International. We pray for her protection, peace, and good studies and all of that. All right. One way I know it's been a good show is if I'm tired at the end, and I'm tired. You all wore me out today. A lot of good engagement. We're going to continue this week. I'm going to reach out to Minister Charmaine Burrell, and see if when she's ready to come in and just give a testimony and talk from a lot of perspective. We work together at a youth serving rather agency. And so I'd love to hear her perspective and her testimony. And there's a level of strength that I've seen her exude over these past few weeks that is just remarkable. And so, Charmaine, we continue to send you strength and we love you. As far as announcements, folks, don't forget, we're going to go with Pastor Marion's comment before we wrap up. Yes, it is possible to maintain peace around family. I maintain peace with my family, but not taking everything they say or do personal. I truly consider the source. That's a whole nother one right there. Domingo, what's up, brother? Oh, God, this is another 20 minutes. Good to see you in the room, Black man. Good to see you in the room. Charmaine, we love you too. Folks, don't forget to love on Charmaine as well. Teresa is making a good point here. Compartmentalize, and I usually can't say that without focusing. Compartmentalize family members and friends. Gotcha. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow night, all of my singers, choir directors, soloists, this is an audition. Please come out tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. We need 25 folks that will be part of this nationally televised historic event. They're going to be major dignitaries at this event. And because the press release went out, I guess I can share it now. I will be in the presence of royalty this weekend, Friday, I believe, December 2nd. I'm going to an event, the Moonshot event. The mayors there's something going on with the mayor and William and Kate, Royal Highnesses. Yes, and that's how they say it in the press release. But there's an event on Friday, and so I hope I'll be able to go live from the event. I hope I'll be able to get a picture with William and Kate. But stay tuned for more information about that. Or I'll give you an update next week about that visit with William and Kate that is taking place on Friday. I'm sitting here now nervous because I'm rubbing my hand thinking about it. Like, that's going to be very interesting. All right, I think that's it for me for announcements this week. We're just spending time together here in the Java Cafe. Testimony Tuesday tomorrow. We Need to Know Wednesday on Wednesday, and Thankful Thursday. All right. Thank you all for tuning in today. Keep that 12, the family of the 12-year-old and those that were injured at the Atlantic Station there in Atlanta. There were 2 mass shootings, I believe, since we talked, or at least one on Wednesday or the middle part of last week. Keep those families in your prayers as well. It's becoming more commonplace than not. And there's the whole conversation about gun laws and gun restrictions. And so thank you all. I'm just checking the comments. Teresa, I am in awe of Charmaine and LaToya's strength as well. Heidi is sharing something with us. Are they bringing the Royals to Southampton Street to see some tech company? I think they're going there. There's a lot going on with them this weekend. And so there are a couple of things where I'm like, you know what? I'm not even trying to go through. Can go have access. If I can't have, y'all know how he is. If I can't be right up front or be able to, go shake hands and chill and talk. Anyway, y'all pray for me. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in today. It was definitely a great Mental Health Monday. The consensus of the words I got today, I remember rested, positive. Teresa said that she was tired. I saw exhausted. I think I got most of the comments as far as the one word for today. All right. I think we're all caught up. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Again, thanks for tuning in. Invite somebody else into the Java Cafe. All right, folks, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. Peace.